So today's main task that I want to do for you guys is just kind of see which brands are the busiest. Because as you know, I don't know shit about cars. I'm not an expert about anything really, considering I make as many car videos as I do. So I'm not going to be the best person. I'm sure there's plenty of other channels that are going to go through each and every single new car, their specs, what's interesting about them, all that stuff. What I want to see is what the public interest lies. Is NIO going to be popular considering they don't have really any new products? What is going to be popular, I guess, is what I want to say. We're going to take a look at crowd sizes and that sort of thing today. That's the goal. So let's head on in. Okay, people, the auto show is now officially open. It is about that time, and I'm here in the BYD hall. The entire hall is BYD, and not so crowded, of course, because A, it just opened officially, and B, actually BYD is pretty much the farthest hall away from, I would say, the main entryway, or probably the main two entries. As far, I guess, north side, most people will be coming on the subway or driving, but they'll be coming from south, from the city. We're in north part of Shenzhen, so probably that's why I would guess relatively empty right now. Those reasons. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go check some of the other halls before this event that I need to attend here for BYD. The unveiling of a few cars, I guess, which is why they invited me here. So let's go check out some other halls first. Currently heading back south, as you can see by that sign above me, heading south towards hall number 5, which is where we should be able to find NIO. And we're gonna see how NIO's crowd is right here at the start. That's the first thing we're gonna do. So here we got hall 5, this is where NIO is. We've got Audi, Lexus, NIO, Lincoln, Dongfeng, something called Dongfeng Shapai. I don't know what that one is. Ipai, I guess. And then we have Nami, which is Dongfeng Nami. I don't know what that is either. Dongfeng Honda, Chang'an, and Cadillac. Dongfeng has a few different brands now that I don't even know what they are. So it looks like NIO's way in the back there. You can see the NIO house towering over everything. Here at Chang'an, they're selling popcorn for free. You gotta scan their QR code. Everybody's giving things away. That's very common. You scan the QR code, they get your information, and you get coffee, water bottle, popcorn, all that kind of stuff. As you can see, really nobody here yet at this Chang'an brand. And at this Dongfeng brand, Dongfeng Honda, also dead. Remember, the car show has just opened, just a few minutes. Here's Lincoln, quite empty. Ooh, Honda right here has a claw machine. That's pretty cool. That's more fun than just eating popcorn. We win Honda prizes, Honda small models. All right, everything's pretty empty. Audi actually has quite a few people here walking around. The most so far in this hall, I would say. Not a ton, but okay. And then NIO has something going on apparently. I guess they have a press conference right now, perhaps. So there's a lot of people here at NIO already. That's not fair. I can't say that's a fair comparison. Who's here?
5月份我们取得了非常可喜的成绩，也是在持续的去创造非常可喜的成绩。现在呢，我想为大家介绍未来汽车6月份的限时购车优惠。
So it seems like I'm not sure what the entire press conference is going to be about, but it's about here are the incentives for buying the car at this present moment. I'm not going to stand here and watch the show because it's not going to be very interesting to me, and I got to get back to BYD here in a minute. But yeah, we got people looking at the ET5T right now. Nice display with the roof rack and the bikes on it. Show you how flexible it is. Oh, over here too, guys, we got the number 4, 4th generation battery swap station. You have the timer up there. It tells you what it's doing. Right now it's taking the battery out. We're at 54 seconds. It's removing the battery, it says.
已经提到我们大湾区对于我们科技以及我们的支架企业呢是非常多。本月提车赠送1年的 NIO Plus 的免费使用权。 逛一逛粤港澳大湾区的车展。
We have a NIO staff right here who's explaining what's happening to the customers. They look very interested, actually.
感谢小亮啊！
A lot of people
大
interested in
湾
power
区车
swap.
展开幕的日子，也是今年的国际儿童形象
Car
大会。
inspection. So we're at 2:45 for this power swap. We're in the car inspection process, battery
是我
inspection,
们为
and you should be able to drive away here
专
any
门拍摄
second
的
now.
短片，名字叫
Gen 4 much
一颗
faster.
种子，请大家欣赏。
Can't wait to see these rolling out. 3 minutes, there you go, completed. So that seems more like a kind of a pre-planned, kind of carefully managed experience because it stopped exactly at 3 minutes. You know, it's good marketing, I guess, but it's not a real timer on a real power swap, obviously. I don't think it would stop exactly at 3 minutes. They're doing an ad for Nomi on the screen. The guy just introduced it. Yeah, tons of people, lots of interest in NIO, obviously. But again, they do have a information or a press conference session going on right now. So that is probably a major reason why. I'll come back again later and check. PHEV plug-in hybrids. I don't want a gas car, but the range is pretty incredible on the Qin. So now we're gonna go check out Hall 2. Here we have Volvo. We have ArcFox, Ion, Leap Motors, a few different brands in here. This seems like more of a budget haul based on the sign above. A lot of cheaper brands, but we'll see. Wow, here's a second generation Ion V with a LiDAR unit. That's new. Very cool. Also, Ion, go check out my review of the Ion. Oh gosh, whichever one I drove, I always forget the name. It's their sedan, the Ion S. I do have a review of that as well, more like a test drive. I'll put that link in there as well. Very, very nice car for the price as well. Honestly, not as nice as BYD, but hey, not everything is equal, right? But again, if they are in your market, like if you're in Southeast Asia or maybe Africa, I think they sell them, go check their car out too. They're pretty decent. So this here is Jack, J-A-C. Jack is, of course, manufacturer, factory. They used to own the NIO factory, and NIO bought the Jack, J-A-C factories off of them. They also make a lot of trucks, heavy-duty vehicles. And now apparently they're making a Jack Motors Define concept car here, which looks quite interesting. Carbon fiber seats, carbon fiber doors. Looks like a fake screen, but of course it doesn't matter, it's a concept car. It's pretty cool. I'm sure will never be for sale. So here's a Jack pickup truck. They do make those. Here is a JAC minivan. And a JAC looks like a city type car. Ooh, with flowers. See, JAC here is giving out ice cream, as well as free dopamine hits. Nice. So if you want ice cream, which I do, of course, I'm gonna have to scan this QR code. Oh, and I gotta put in a bunch of information. 谢谢, thank you. Pretty exciting stuff. Okay, so this is Xceed, which is not to be confused with Luxeed. Similar name, different brand, different vehicles. As you can clearly see, basically empty. Especially when you simply just walk across over here to Haima, aka, oh gosh, Hongma, what is that character? Hongmeng? I'm not entirely sure. I'm sorry, some sort of bird. I don't know, but it's quite busy over here. So as you can see, a lot of people here at this one. This is AITO, I guess. This is Huawei, Harmony Intelligent Mobility Alliance. So I think they're using all the same software, something like that. So these ones over here are AITO. All of these are AITO, Huawei. Here's Luxeed, actually, the one I just mentioned, not Xseed, this is Luxeed. So these are all cars that I think just use the Huawei operating system. Yeah, and quite busy, quite busy. As you can see, of course, AITO, Huawei, very busy. A lot of people want to see that. And not a lot of people want to see Xseed over here, Xseed. Nobody cares about Xseed. What is Xseed? Who knows? Okay, here we got ArcFox. ArcFox not doing particularly well in China. They did have some hype a couple years back. Now, hard to say what's really going on with them. You hardly ever see them on the road, except here in Shenzhen. Usually the ArcFoxes are the robo-taxis. But yeah, you don't see a lot of private ArcFox cars owned by private individuals, at least not in Shenzhen. I think last week they sold like 1,400 cars across China, which is not great, not great. I believe that was their number. And that was the first time I've seen them in the top 10 in a while. Okay, here we got Qirei. This is Cherry. And Cherry, they have the wind and the cloud, the Feng Yun, apparently. Anyway, also not a lot of people looking at Cherry. This is a very classic Chinese brand, Chinese car company from the olden days of China, from 20 years ago. You know, things move fast in China, not a lot of excitement around a brand like Cherry these days. Here we've got a Volvo. Nobody cares about Volvo, clearly. The most empty one I've seen so far. Absolutely insane. I wonder if Chinese people know that Volvo is a Chinese brand now, because clearly they're not excited for it. Look at that. Nobody. So here, this booth says it's future of movement or transportation, I guess. So we have EV tolls, basically personal aircraft. We also have a spaceship right here, which is pretty cool, a UFO. I wonder if this could fly. It does have propellers. Actually, that's pretty clever, have the propellers hidden inside the round flying saucer shape, which is probably actually how flying saucers work, the ones that have been seen in the past, like in Area 51, because otherwise I couldn't think of a way to make a flying saucer actually work. So, hey, pretty smart. Now here I feel kind of bad for these guys trying to sell ice cream when just inside there you got free ice cream. But they do have one customer, so good for them. Now we are in Hall 4. Of course, I did mention in the other hall, Elite Motor, we had a very small booth. I wasn't sure if that was their main booth. Obviously not. Here we go. Here's their main booth. We've also got more Volvo. So also, yeah, maybe more interest in this hall over here. Deep Motors. So this car right here sells pretty well. This one right here, C10. I see quite a few of them. Anyway. Ooh, what is this over here? So busy. Mercedes. Wow. Mercedes very busy. A lot of people in Mercedes. So you can see where Chinese people's interests and loyalties lie. Legacy auto, luxury, like Mercedes, and brand new energy vehicle companies like Zeekr, like NIO. You know, some of the legacy Chinese companies like Chery, or some of those other new energy vehicle companies that just don't have the hype for whatever reason. Not to name names, but they kind of die on the vine. But here, yeah, Mercedes, quite busy. Over here we've got the Avatar booth. Look at that. Pick up. I guess if you're driving this car and you're a DD driver, you can use that. Avatar, see more and more of these on the road. Still not abundant, but you do see quite a few Avatar 12s, or I think they're called Avatar 1-2, which would be this one right here. Not a super busy booth, but okay, not bad. So that's that. Hyper, this is from GAC, Ion, not Ion, their other brand, I believe, should be GAC. Oh yeah, it is an Ion, Hyper Ion. Kind of, like I was mentioning earlier, BYD, they're trying to move up market with their other brands. Ion, GAC is doing the same and not having a great time with it. I think BYD is doing better moving up market. Anyway, not a ton of people here either, but there are people playing a game. Throw the ring around the daisy. You can win a stuffed animal. Anything to get people into the booth. We've got the Hyper Model X variant with the gold wing doors, okay? The Hyper HT. Got cotton candy. Anything to get people in the doors. Here we have Zeekr. Zeekr's doing well, selling a lot of cars, especially the 001. Their MPV is doing quite well. Ningling Chi right here, also doing pretty well. See a few of these on the road every day. And as you can see, their booth is also quite busy. Take a little look around. Here's a sexy Zeekr 001. Nice. Is that a Laowai? Oh, no. I thought it was a Laowai model, but it's not. She just has light brown hair. So this is their Zeekr mix. Looks pretty funny, funky, funny and funky. Very flexible car right here. You can turn the seats around. You can play mahjong. A lot of people looking at this one. All right, moving on. Okay, SAIC, IM, right here. Another brand that I would say not doing exceptionally well. And I think that's also evident by how busy their booth is. I feel like, obviously I'm not here to talk crap about certain brands. This brand had a lot of hype initially when it first kind of launched. Had some interesting designs, especially from the outside, like over here. The L6 is kind of cool, I think. Although that's a newer car of theirs. I don't know, not terrible looking, but they always have funky design issues and they don't sell particularly well. But you know, there's still a chance. They have backing of SAIC, which is a massive automotive group. This is kind of cool. This is auto driving if you're on autopilot, or it says auto parking if you're doing autonomous parking. That's a good idea. So people know. I've seen people complain online. Actually, I saw, I think it was yesterday on Reddit, somebody was saying people don't know when I'm auto parking and it auto parks so slow on my Tesla and people get annoyed and they cut me off or take my spot. So if you know, if it says on the back auto park, well, that certainly will help. So maybe Tesla can learn a thing or two from IM. And now here we are, VW, another brand not doing exceptionally well in China, at least not with their EVs. They've always been a very popular brand, you know, Volkswagen Santana. One of the first cars in China to just really take off 20 plus years ago. Now with their EVs, struggling a little bit. But they do have collaborations with Xpeng coming up, supposedly. So that might help them and might help Xpeng as well. Okay, here's Nita, or Neta. Again, I don't want to do too much editorializing here. I'm no car expert. I'm just here giving you a walk around tour. And I don't want to show my biases too much. But again, as you can see, not a lot of people here in the booth. And also Neta not doing particularly well overall in terms of sales. So those are just the facts. Those are the facts. All right, making our way over to hall number 3. That's where we're gonna find Porsche, Lotus, Li Auto, Xpeng, Buick, Voya, Changcheng, all the Great Wall Motors brands, Tank, Aura, all that stuff. Let's go see how those ones are doing. Oh, yo. Ow. Oh, I just stubbed my toe so bad. There was a big ledge. Ouch. Oof. All right, so Toyota definitely losing a lot of ground in China overall because they don't really have any compelling EVs. But what they do have is a clown. They have a clown who can give balloons out to children. So anything, these brands will do anything they can to compete, to get attention. And so, hey, Japan, not Japan, Toyota, you want to build a car show booth and have a clown, go for it, more power to you. But then as you can see, once you get away from the clown, there's really nobody in the Toyota booth. Nobody particularly cares about Toyota in China anymore. Here's Buick. Buick does have some EVs that sell decently well. Usually they're like share cars, like Ubers. Overall, Buick not the most exceptional brand anymore in China, but it's doing okay. Doing okay compared to a lot of other brands. There's E4 SUV. E5 SUV. But again, not many people in the booth. You can just use your eyes. I don't want to editorialize. Just use your eyes, see what's crowded and what is not crowded. And that'll give you the idea of what is exciting in China at the moment and what is not. So here's Xpeng. Xiaopeng. Xiaopeng. This booth, okay, yeah, not so bad. There's a few people looking at their SUV, which is selling quite well. You have more people over here looking at their their MPV. This is pretty much their best product these days, their product that sells the best. Not overly crowded, but hey, pretty good foot traffic here. Again, especially over here by their van. So that's Xpeng. Over here, Legacy, China Auto, Great Wall Motors, GWM. They didn't invite me this time, so shame on them. They did invite me to the Guangzhou Auto Show last October and to their factory in Baoding, China. That was also October last year. Anyway, they didn't invite me this time, so I got to rely on BYD. So thanks again, BYD. And again, shame on you, Great Wall Motors. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Great Wall Motors. I do appreciate you guys always open to come back and share your great products with the world anytime you want me to. Also, not exceptionally busy. They mostly deal with plug-in hybrids, internal combustion engine cars. They do have fully electric cars like Aura, the little VW Beetle style cars and the Porsche style cars that are pretty cool. The news recently is they are pulling out of Europe. I guess their sales didn't go so well in Europe and they are focusing more on China and probably more emerging markets. So here's some of their off-road vehicles, their tank. Tank is really cool. See a lot of tanks in China. Okay, here we go. This is Voya over here. Voya. The Voya Free. I believe Voya has launched in Europe. I think I saw Bjorn on Tesla Bjorn on his YouTube channel driving a Voya, I think. Actually, you don't see a ton of these being sold in China. At least, again, not in Shenzhen. I would say that the market in China, if you're not aware, is kind of like regional. Like here in Guangdong, BYD and GAC sell tons of cars, and they do sell tons of cars everywhere in China, but their headquarters, their factories, that kind of stuff are down here. People in this region will buy that stuff, buy those brands. NIO is headquartered in Shanghai. Their factory is also in the region in Anhui. So a lot of NIO is sold in Shanghai, their number one market. Anhui also does really well for NIO. And then you have basically it's regional. Wherever the factory, wherever the headquarters are, that's where they sell most of the cars. Anyway, here's Lishan. We have L6, L7, L8, L9, all on very prominent display up in the front of the booth. As you can see, these are the bread and butter of Lishan, Li Auto. These are the cars that sell really, really well. And these are all plug-in hybrids. And then you got their one fully electric BEV, that is a Li Mega, which has kind of been an albatross on them. But as you can see, it's up here on the stage. As you can see, it's getting quite a bit of attention as well from potential shoppers or maybe just people who want to see what all the the memes are about, the coffin truck or the high-speed rail, Gautier. Anyway, Li Auto sells very well in general. Again, all their plug-in hybrids. And you can see their booth here, pretty well trafficked. Not super duper crowded, but pretty well trafficked. And then of course over here we have Porsche from Germany, Legacy Auto. Chinese people love Porsche. Their sales have been down quite a bit in the past year, but people are still more than willing to line up just to get into the Porsche booth, which most other brands there is no line. Really only the luxury brands like BYD, Yangwang, or Porsche here. If there's any other luxury brands, we'll see. They probably have a line. So this line is quite long. I am not gonna go wait in line to see the Porsches like these people. Look at that line. Here is Lotus, which is another, now a Chinese brand. Also a line to get into Lotus. Not super crowded, of course, because they do manage their crowds with the line. So they have crowd control for the more expensive luxury brands. Nice cars, nice cars. Keep it moving because I don't want to spend all day here. I do have things to do, like take naps or, I don't know, watch a movie or make a YouTube video on my computer after I film all this stuff. Moving right along. It's probably going to be the busiest time of the entire show. You can see here we have Mengzi Yuan, which should be like Guoqiao Meixian or something, I guess. I'm assuming that's how busy it is, all these people eating. Anyway, the shops, the booths, the car show, busiest point probably of the entire week. Maybe next weekend also will be busy, but remember it's Saturday today. It's also Children's Day, which is a holiday. I just left the hall with Li Auto and with Xpeng, and so now we're going to compare it to NIO because I know that's what the people watching my channel generally want to see. Literally 1 minute ago, walked out of that hall with Li Auto. You just saw that crowd, and now we're going to go check out the NIO crowd and see what we can see. It's going to be as close as a fair comparison as possible, as well as against Xpeng. Zeekr was about 20 minutes ago, more or less, in a different hall, but that one was quite crowded. So we're gonna go see. Oh my gosh, smell like somebody farted so bad. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I want to retch. I gotta get out of here. Oh my god. Oh, who did that? Oh, holy mackerel. Somebody smelled like they pooped their pants. Jesus Christ. Here's Ultraman. Which brand is this? Honda. Honda has a car model and Ultraman. Again, anything to attract the crowds, right? That's one thing NIO doesn't do, I guess, maybe as more like a brand that wants to be more international. They don't, they've succumbed to wokeness. They pretty much don't have car models, they don't have girls to promote their brand and dress nice and take pictures with the cars. But they do have, they usually hire pretty girls for their staff, so slightly different strategy. Hire pretty girls to sell you a car instead of pretty girls to stand next to a car. Oh, the sheiks. This must be the guys who are buying the NIOs from UAE. Oh my god, it's so crowded. This hall is the busiest hall that I've been in. This is crazy. You got people crapping their pants. You got sheiks. You got Ultraman. All right. Kids on shoulders. Girls on boxes. What is going on here? Okay. Wow. A lot of people walking against the grain here, coming past me. I guess they're all leaving the Cadillac booth or the NIO booth over here. All right, here we go. NIO looks very, very crowded. I gotta say. No lie. Look at that. Oh, not too crowded. It looked crowded from farther away, but quite crowded. Yeah, can't really walk as freely as pretty much any of the other booths. Yeah, actually quite crowded. Quite crowded. So here in the NIO booth, we have, of course, all their cars. They have so many cars. They have ES8, ES6, ES7. They have NIO ET5 over here, swapping its battery. Lots of people watching the battery swap. Tons of people watching the battery swap. And then you have the EC6, and you have the EC7, and the ET5 touring. NIO, I'm going to say very, very crowded. And then you have, of course, up here, you have the NIO house. I don't think I can get in, as I'm no longer a NIO owner. Here's a sexy, sexy EC7, my favorite NIO car currently. We have a Lawai over here checking the charging pile. Perhaps he wants to charge his car. See, NIO is very much about international kind of feeling. Their brand, everything about what they do. Again, they always have Chinese and English. Here at an auto show where 99.9% of everybody's going to be Chinese, they still will do this, which I guess that's more wasteful spending, hiring a translator or a copywriter to write things in English. But not only do they write things in English, but usually it's quite well written as well, not Chinglish. See, with a global layout, NIO features full stack in-house development capabilities for electric drive and high voltage systems, blah, 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 blah. So they're always all about that, which I think is good. It does make a kind of a higher value feeling to customers, especially in China. You know, they like foreign things in China, and they like, I guess they like the idea of foreign brands, and I guess also they like the idea of more international feeling, typically. So if you put English and Chinese, of course that's going to be a good thing. So here we have their Blue Sky Lab, lots of clothes. It's a nice shirt. Looks like it's been distressed. So these are all made from recycled materials from the car, airbags and whatnot. And here is a gift. It is a 杯子. Oh, look, I know NIO investors hate it, but what are you going to do? NIO's giving out free physical products, gifts when you register with their app. You know, sometimes they give out test drives, sometimes they give out, extended test drives, like a time with the car, things like that. While other brands are simply giving out popcorn or simply giving out, I would say, less interesting things. Seriously, look at the crowd here. Everybody here crowding around the battery swap station. You got kids that are interested in it. You got adults that are interested in it. You got everybody interested in it. Everybody wants to see a battery swap. Nobody wants to see a battery charge. So I'm very, very, very extremely disappointed because NIO just denied me going up to the NIO house and getting a drink because I'm not a current NIO owner. So they're actually taking it seriously for once. Usually they're not so serious. I've been to these auto shows before that let me up there since I sold my car. But as you can see, all these people up here in there, they must be real NIO owners. So a lot of people here for NIO owners. Well, I told you, these are the people from the UAE. That could be our investors, guys. Again, I don't want to editorialize too much. I just want to show you the truth of what's going on here. NIO, very, very popular. I would almost argue probably the most crowded, more than Nissan, more than Zeekr, more than Xpeng. Zeekr was pretty crowded though too. So let's go over here. We have Lexus also doing pretty crowded over here. Maybe by association being next to NIO. Also Cadillac. Cadillac, not so much. Smaller booth and I don't know, not a ton of people in it. Lots of room to walk around. As you will see, I will go in right now. Lots of space. So it is extremely hot. It's very hot inside there. It's very hot outside, very humid. It's over 30 degrees Celsius, I believe, but very, very humid. I'm sweating very much. So not only was the guy who farted extremely stinky, but also I am starting to feel stinky. So I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. I think I have one more hall, maybe two to get to. So this one I have yet to be inside. And it looks like a very uninteresting one, which is good because that means I can get out of here earlier. So here we have Hongqi, the red flag, Chinese patriotic national brand, the car that Xi Jinping rides around in. Oh, quite busy. Not so bad. Yeah, good. Hongqi, pretty crowded, relatively speaking. Ew, that car is already sold out. The Phantom has a sign on it that says sold out. Spectre, the Cullinan. Okay, I don't care about Rolls-Royce. As always, I gotta remind you guys, I used to ride around in a Rolls-Royce all the time in my previous life, in my work experience. Every day, cruising around Rolls-Royce, very nice, but I would never want to own one. Okay, here's Chevrolet EV. Even the girl sitting here is very bored because nobody cares about Chevrolet. American brands, dead, dying. Only one that's going to survive in China is Tesla, and even that, I mean, we'll see in a few years if Tesla doesn't start pumping out new, interesting cars. And here we have a Shenzhen, which is also called Deeple. These cars, you can see a lot of them in Thailand. I think, no, I don't remember. I think I saw Deeples in Thailand, right? Now I'm already doubting myself. Of course, there was Ions and BYDs there. You do see a lot of Shenzhens in China too. Usually the PHEV variants, from my experience, at least down here in southern China. And we have Bentley, another one that you can't actually go and look at the car, probably unless you are a real legitimate verified person who wants to buy one, they'll let you up there. Ford. Not so bad actually. Not so bad at all. Again, not overly crowded, but there are people checking out the Ford, checking out the Mustang. Fute Dianma, Ford electric horse. Ah, there we go. It's because they have RC cars and hammers. Yeah, anyway, again, not overly crowded. As you can see, lots of room to wander around in. Obviously, because there's no car here, they probably had chairs set up for their stage show earlier. But yeah, lots of space here. I hope whoever watched this video all the way through will comment and say, is your assessment of the crowds correct or are you biased? Please tell me what you thought about the crowd at each booth, because I think I'm pretty fair. Most of the booths are the same size relatively. There are some brands that have smaller space and some brands with more space, like BYD has tons of space and tons of people in their booth. NIO, average size booth, a lot of people in it. Other ones, like this one, was this Geometry. This is, I think, Geometry from Geely. Quite a few people here as well. Very crowded. This one's up there with, I would say, up there with something like Zeekr. Not so bad that you cannot walk, but quite a few people in here. And no flash photography allowed. Okay. Almost out of here. Row. Let's go check out Row. This is also SAIC, and SAIC is Shanghai Automotive Group. And up there in Shanghai, you see a lot of these Row cars over here, and a lot of them are used as taxis. And you almost never see these cars. Like I said, it's very much regional. You almost never see these cars being sold down here in Guangdong, driving around the streets of Guangdong. Very, very rare. But Shanghai, quite a few. And I think that's reflected by the booth. Big booth, no people. People in Guangdong absolutely do not give one rip about Row. Okay, here's a Panda. It's, again, anything to attract people to your brand doesn't seem to be working. just attracts people to the Panda. There's Kia. Kia not doing well in China. Empty booth looks like. Yeah. So it goes. So that is everything. I've been to every hall, been to every booth, seen it all. And let me know what you think about the Shenzhen, Greater Bay Area, Canton, Hong Kong, and Macau auto show. Pretty cool, right? Lots of cars. Although, I'm sorry, I didn't really get into all the cars. I'm more interested in, you know, what's popular, what's busy. I think some people, investors especially, are interested in that. In terms of cars, of course, I'm sure you could probably find lots of people who are making videos about which cars are the best and coolest and sweetest and fastest and all that good stuff. Give you deep dives on what's new here in the auto show and what's new in the market in China. So thanks for watching. Make sure you comment and tell me all the bad things you don't like about me or about China, and ask me how much China's paying me. I love those comments the best. Adios, auf Wiedersehen, Zaijian, and goodbye.